Hello. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to our learning session, our online learning session, Communicate with Confidence. And this is presented by Career Consultants Network in partnership with Pearson Online English. By the way, my name is Monette, and I'll be your moderator for today. I hope you can all hear me loud and clear. All right. So before we start, I would just like to cover a few housekeeping reminders. This session is being recorded and a copy of this will be sent to you via email. And all participants, please, for all the participants, kindly keep your microphones on mute to avoid background noise. Okay, and if you have any questions, feel free to use the chat function at the bottom of your screen. If you have questions for our speakers today, an e-certificate is sent a few days after the session. Please, may I request everyone who needs the certification to send your full name to my ID, use my ID, please. You can send me a private message. And this session will run for about 60 minutes. Okay, may I now introduce our guest speakers, starting with Marion Campos. She's the account manager of Pearson Online English of Career Consultants Network. Marion will be focusing on how to improve English proficiency, plus a special program that she'll be sharing with you and a chance to win a Pearson Online English subscription. So please stay tuned to that. And please join me in welcoming our speaker from Pearson Asia, Mr. Mark Flores. Sir Mark is the country business development manager for the Philippines, and he will talk about how English proficiency builds confidence in different contexts. After all we want is to communicate with confidence, right? That's why we are all tuned in here today. So at this point, I'm handing over the screen to Sir Mark. Let me just stop my screen. Sir Mark, over to you. Sir Mark, you're just on mute.
Yes, thank you. Can everyone see my screen? Just a few show of hands, maybe?
Yes, Sir Mark.
All right, okay. So yes, thank you very much for that introduction, Mo. So without further ado, let's begin. So I entitled my presentation English in Numbers because what I will be showing you this afternoon are statistics. These are products of nearly a decade of research in different from different continents around the world, around different aspects, not only pertaining specifically to English proficiency, but how that relates to almost everything else, every other aspect of learning. So our topic is how does English language proficiency help in building your confidence? Okay? So as Monette mentioned, let me see if my slides, there you go. So as Monette mentioned, we are going to discuss this in three contexts. One is the context of employability. Another is advancement, both in school and later on at work. And also in the context of performance, again, both in school and in the world of work. So before we start, what exactly do we mean when we say English proficiency? Okay? So most people, especially in the Philippines, we tend to think that, because we are the largest English-speaking country in Southeast Asia, I think more than 95% of our population has at least some degree of English communication skills. So people tend to take it for granted that we are, as a nation, we are English proficient. I guess the important thing to remember is that being able to speak and write in English does not mean you are proficient. Proficiency basically means how skilled are you in the use of the language for certain purposes, whether that is communicating in a social setting or in an academic setting or in a professional setting. So generally, you can see in this slide, you have three main categories. We have basic users, we have independent users, and proficient users. Okay? Again, this still seems a bit vague. So in uh, in in most English tests, you will be assessed, or you'll be tested on the four macro skills: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Okay? But in Pearson English tests, we break this down further into what we call enabling skills. So you can see on this screen, enabling skills pertain to grammar, obviously, subject verb agreement, etc. Oral fluency. Oral fluency simply means how quickly does your mind translate from thought to speech. Okay? As you can see, I myself, I tend to pause every once in a while, um, and say things like okay. So these are non-words. So that means I need some work on my oral fluency. Okay. Pronunciation. Pronunciation is different from accent. Okay? So most people, again, you tend to think you need to be able to speak like an American or an Englishman in order to be English proficient. That's not true. What matters is that you are able to pronounce the words clearly and correctly. Okay. Obviously, in writing, you need to be good in spelling, okay? Without the aid, obviously, of spell check. Okay? Vocabulary. How rich, how wide is your vocabulary? Okay? How often do you repeat certain words because you don't have the proper synonyms in your bank? Okay? And written discourse, which is how effectively and concisely are you able to lay down your thoughts in a written piece, and support that with the necessary data and everything else. Okay? Now, in some tests, there is another factor called intelligibility. Okay? That simply means in your spoken English, how easy is it to understand what you're saying? So intelligibility is a combination of pronunciation, volume, how fast do you speak, and so on. Okay? But in most tests, you will need to focus on these five enabling skills. And then if you are good in these five enabling skills, it will follow that you will score well in the four macro skills that you see above. So that's English proficiency. Now, we talked about English in the context of employment. Right? So in 2018, Pearson Education published a paper called The Future of Skills. Okay? This paper presents data from, I think, 6 or 7 years of research that predicts what are the skills that will be needed by employers in the year 2030. Okay? And you'll be surprised at some of those results. Now, comparing that to where we are today, you can see on the left, the statistics here. This is quite alarming, and I think many of the educators in today's call would find this interesting. So this is around the world, right? Only 11% of employers think that universities or colleges are preparing their students properly for the world of employment. So this is the situation from the standpoint of employers, and we are talking global. This is not just in the Philippines. This is even in developed countries like the UK or Canada and the US. This situation prevails. Now, in stark contrast to that, our research also asked academic officers from institutions, again, around the world, and 96% of them actually believe that they are teaching the right skills to their students. So you can see here there's this very large gap. Okay? So learning institutions think that they are preparing their students properly, but employers don't think so. Okay? They don't see the skills that they need. Um, Now let's focus on this one statistic here, where you see 90% of graduate recruiters, again, around the world, cited 21st century skills as one of the three most important factors in hiring. So we'll talk about what these 21st century skills are in the next couple of slides. So what does it mean to be employable? Now, putting all of these research together, we have determined that employability, today and moving probably into the next decade, um, covers four main skill groups. You can see here, core academic competencies. I'll talk about these briefly as we go along. Okay? So you have core academic competencies, you have occupational competencies, you have personal and social capabilities, and career knowledge and transition skills. Now, across all of these, English language proficiency is it's right there. Okay, so it's not classified as a separate skill in itself, but it is embedded in each and every one of these four skill groups. For example, obviously, as the name implies, core academic competencies. These are the things that you learn in school. Okay? Literacy, okay? Being able to read and write, okay? Numeracy, okay? Digital literacy, because we are now in digital age, and English proficiency. It's part of what you need to learn. I'm so excited to see. Sorry. Okay. Right. Occupational competencies are discipline-specific skills. So these are the skills that you need to learn that are specific to the line of work that you intend to go into. So let's say, for just an obvious example, if you intend to work in medical profession, then you need to learn the necessary medical related skills. And once again, English proficiency is considered as an occupational competency. Okay. Personal and social capabilities. Okay, these are precisely what we call 21st century skills or soft skills. Right? So you have their critical thinking, creativity. Creativity doesn't mean artistic creativity. It means creativity in solving problems. Creativity in conceptualizing innovations and so on. Self-management. Okay? And then you can see there, communication is an important 21st century skill. And then again, especially in today's world where there are mixed nationalities in almost every setting, okay? Being able to communicate in English is an important skill. Social responsibility, another soft skill. Collaboration. Okay? I highlighted this because once again, it involves proficiency in language. Okay? You will not be able to collaborate effectively if you're not able to express the ideas that are in your head. Neither will you be able to collaborate effectively if you cannot comprehend or grasp the ideas that your teammates are putting on the table. And then lastly, you have leadership. So once again, you see here, language proficiency is right there. It's integrated within the 21st century skills. And then lastly, you have career knowledge and transition skills. In simple terms, this means the skill to learn or the ability to learn and the ability to show what you have learned. Okay? So these are the skills that you will need to transition from being a student to being a part of the workforce. And then within that workforce, your ability to transition from one level to another, let's say moving up the corporate ladder or switching careers. Okay? So these are, there are there are common skills that you will need in order to make this transition effectively. Okay. Now, in the world of work specifically, okay, again, this is the product of research. Okay. In 2016, Cambridge University came up with a study called English at Work. And they found that in Europe, you can see there 57% of employers, okay, offer better packages to employees who have good English proficiency skills. So in other words, if you have high English proficiency, right off the bat, you actually have an advantage in the workplace. You have more opportunities for advancing or progressing in your career. You have the right to expect higher pay, okay? And you are more readily considered for senior roles. Okay? Of course, English proficiency is not the only skill that will get you these, but it is important. Okay? It contributes. Okay? Last year, during the pandemic, Pearson itself conducted a survey among HR professionals. And you can see here, we found that 94% of HR professionals believe that it is important to accurately evaluate English proficiency. Okay? So by accurate evaluation, we mean having a certified score from a reputable award-giving body. And then you can see also there 77% of the HR professionals that were consulted, okay, believe it is important for teams within a company to have high levels of English proficiency. So once again, if you are a student, okay, getting ready to go into the world of work, you will need a high level of English proficiency will actually give you more opportunities. Okay? Will open more doors for you. Further quantification. Okay? So how much does it cost a company to hire employees that have poor English language skills? Okay? So imagine if you're an employer, okay? Imagine how much it costs your company or your team, in financial terms, when, let's say, one member of your teams cannot understand what their teammates are saying. How much does it cost when a team member cannot express what they know? So you hire someone, for example, you pirate someone from a competing company. Okay? Very high skills on the job, but very poor English proficiency skills, which means he is not able to transfer what he knows into the company, into your company. So that's a bad investment. Okay? How much does it cost? You see there, when a company hires even the most skilled worker, but that worker cannot communicate with your company. Okay? More importantly, okay, how much does miscommunication cost? Okay? In terms of errors, okay, redo, missed deadlines, and I guess the most important is a negative impact on clients. Now, how does English proficiency improve your business performance? You can see there. It reduces miscommunication. Okay? It makes you more efficient. Okay? Meaning you probably have to give instructions only once, and then your team will be able to understand exactly what you're saying, and they'll do what needs to be done. Okay? It makes you, as an employee, a better investment for the company because, again, you're able to bring in ideas, okay, and knowledge from your previous experience. Okay? Your emails are more easy to understand. Okay? Your teams can learn from you and so on. And then, especially if you are a customer-facing employee, having good English skills improves your customer satisfaction. Okay? And then internally, it also improves employee satisfaction. But okay, enough about the work. Okay, so you might be saying, okay, I'm only in grade 11, so I don't need to learn English. Okay? Let's take that into the context of school. Okay? So I will be showing you some excerpts from case studies that we have done within Pearson among institutions that use Pearson English resources. So these are cases from Poland, Colombia, Mexico, and Peru, all non-native English speaking countries. You can see here in Poland and in Colombia, okay, the highlighted part shows majority of students report that using um, Pearson English language resources, which means improving their language proficiency, makes them feel more confident in achieving the goals that they set for themselves. Okay? Not just in terms of their performance in English, but in terms of their overall performance in whatever field they are pursuing. Okay? So let's say you are an engineering student. Okay? Being proficient in English makes you more confident in tackling engineering related subjects, because you will be able to understand reading materials more easily, and again you will be able to express your ideas more comfortably. In Mexico and Peru, similar situation. Okay? Um, Interestingly, in Peru, which is for in the eyes of the rest of the world, this is a third world country, non-English speaking, but almost 100% of their students feel that by improving their English proficiency, they are more confident in achieving whatever goals they set for themselves later on in their studies. So wrapping up, okay, being proficient in English opens more possibilities for anyone. Okay? So it makes you more attractive to job recruiters because you have skills that they're looking for. It increases your market value for employers. Okay? It allows you to better interact with your peers and your colleagues, which again aids in your performance. It helps you perform better at work, and it prepares you for, if you're a student, it prepares you for better overall academic performance. So all of these put together will mean that if you know that you are proficient in English, and this is documented by standardized testing, then you have more confidence in pursuing probably fields that you never thought you would try and get into. Okay? So that ends my talk for today. And as Mo said, if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat box, and then we will try to answer them later on. Okay. So thank you. Back to you, Monette.
Thank you, Sir Mark,
Stop
for that
there.
very meaningful presentation about how English proficiency actually contributes to building confidence and how it benefits them overall, not just academically, but professionally and in other aspects, in fact. So I hope you were able to capture what Sir Mark what he's been trying to share with you today. Now, for our next part of presentation is going to focus more on the English proficiency itself and how you could help yourself in improving it. Maybe you could start doing it right now while we are at home. So may I call on Miss Marion? So
Hello.
please, yes, over to you, Marion.
Hi. Thank you, Manette, and good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm being heard clearly. Am I? All right. Thank you. So first, let me share my slide. Okay. So can you see my slide? I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes,
All
Marianne.
right. Okay. So again, good afternoon. So my name is Marian, and now that we've already heard about how confidence in our English proficiency can help us grow personally and professionally, then let's talk about how we can actually develop our English language skills given the limitations that we have, especially these days, right? Since, we are all just most of us just staying at home. So, what are the ways? What can we do to help improve our English proficiency? All right. So, actually, these tips are something you can find on Google. But I would like to help you set more specific learning goals through these Googleable tips. So I actually don't have much to show on my slides, but I have quite a lot to say. So I hope you stick with me until the end because there's an interesting opportunity for you later at the end of my presentation. So, okay, without further ado, let me go to my first tip. The first tip is, okay, immerse yourself in the language. Okay, so there are many, many ways to do this. You're actually immersing yourself in the language right now because you attended this session. You're immersing yourself in the language when you watch English shows or movies or when you read English literature. So, very common, very Googleable, right? This tip. But actually, we do these things so often, like watching, reading. We do these things very often that we don't actually feel that we are learning, I guess. It's because we do these things as our hobby or just because we are bored, we need something to do. We're at home the whole day, the whole week, the whole year. So, but like what I've said, I want to help you set learning goals through these common activities that we actually enjoy doing. So, my first suggestion to immerse yourself fully in the language with a set learning goal is that when you watch English TV shows, maybe you can note down certain expressions that you've heard from the episode. So, for example, you set a goal. In each episode, I must write at least two expressions, let's say. So, two, one is okay, or two, let's say. And then, so try to use these expressions in applicable conversations whenever possible. But since right now there's really very few opportunities for us to talk to somebody in English. If you can't, then you can write down sentences that you can use in a real life setting with that expression that you heard from the English TV show. This widens your vocabulary range. Okay? Another suggestion that I can give you is to transcribe lines from the shows or podcasts. I guess some of you here, you like listening to podcasts also. So when I say transcribe, this means you can write down or type down what the speaker is saying, yung naririnig mo. So, without relying on the subtitles. So, by doing this, you will realize how much English words you are actually unfamiliar with because most likely you will encounter words you have never heard before. Like, diba, it happens when we are watching a movie or a TV show without a subtitle. Sometimes the characters would say something and then we're like, what? Ano daw? So we didn't understand that. So, by taking note of these expressions and trying to search what they actually mean and trying to apply it in our own conversations, or at least trying to make our own sentences using those, it not only improves our listening skills, but it will also improve your ability to communicate confidently in English because you are using more expressions that are native like. All right. So, another common way of immersing yourself in the language is by reading English literature. So, who here likes reading? So, a lot of people like to read. Can you tell me in the chat box what kind of stuff you like to read? And when I say read, I'm not talking about being a bookworm or only reading books. Okay, so you can read whatever interests you. So it could be online articles, magazine. Yeah, thank you. Leadership books, self-help. I like self-help books as well. So like what I was saying, it doesn't have to be a book. Okay, so you can read whatever interests you. It could be online articles, since I know a lot of us are always on social media. So all the things that you see there, that's reading. So when you open an article, when you click on a news report, when you click on an article about leadership, about relationships, that means you are reading something. So could be magazine write-ups, or if you like it old school, it can be a newspaper news, okay, current events. And do you realize that actually when we read, we mostly rely on common keywords that are familiar to our eyes and our brain? This is the reason it's possible for us to understand the general idea of a certain sentence, even if there are words inside it that we do not actually know the meaning of, right? For example, when you read like a long sentence, if I ask you to explain to me what it says, you can explain it to me. But if I ask you to tell me the meaning of each word in that sentence, then ayun na. So we realize that we do not actually know the meaning of every word in a sentence. So this brings me to my learning suggestion, which is to know, again, noting down words, which meanings you do not actually know. Then you search for their meanings and then go over your list from time to time. You know, these words may not be words that you use in your daily routine, daily life, but knowing the meaning of these words will help you a lot, maybe in your career, in your profession, or when you travel. And also about current events. Let me share with you an experience when I was in sixth grade. So, when I was in sixth grade, our English teacher, who happens to be my advisor as well, she asks us to um, uh, like read a portion of a headline from a newspaper. So every day there will be a reporter, and the reporter will stand in front and just read. We didn't have to memorize it. We just had to read maybe the first three paragraphs of the news report. And then after that, she will ask questions to the whole class about the news report. She will also ask us to write down words that we did not understand in the report. Of course, we were still young, and it's a newspaper, it's an English newspaper. So the words there were difficult. And at that time, I hated it. My classmates also hated it because those are hard words. But now that I'm an adult and I'm already a grown up, and these are the words that I see on news reports online or whenever I read global articles, it helps. I realize that it actually helped me because I know the meaning of these words. I learned them when I was young. So just sharing, maybe right now, especially for those of you who are still young, you might feel overwhelmed or you might not yet see the relevance or the high importance of improving your English proficiency. But I'm telling you, when you reach adulthood, you will realize its many benefits. All right. So, um, you can also start journaling. So, immersing yourself, watching TV, reading articles or books. You can also start journaling about anything. Who does journaling here? Can I know from the chat box? Are there people here who has his or her journal? Yeah. Okay. So, when we say journaling, also, like what I've said, you can start journaling about anything. So some people don't do this because they think it's like writing a diary. Medyo corny for other people, but yeah, and I see something like minutes of meeting in the office. That can be it, a kind of journaling. So it doesn't really have to be like diary type. So you can just write down like that, meeting minutes in English. It could be your goals for the day, especially for working professionals. It could be your prayer items if you wake up in the morning and then you start writing down what you want to pray for somebody or some people. And you can also write down your thoughts or feelings for the day. So, us in anything in English. In my case, I actually have a small notebook here and I call it Notebook of Random Things because I write anything and everything there. And so, just write anything in a journal in English. Usually, your thoughts. Sometimes, when you're upset, it could help if you write your thoughts in English in your journal or in your random notebook of random things. Right? So, that's it in immersing yourself. I'm sure there are still a lot of things that you can do, but my point here is when you see these tips in Google, don't take it lightly. I mean, think of something, set a learning goal. So when we say, it's okay, I watch a lot of English shows, but what is the outcome? Were you actually able to apply what you hear in your daily conversations? Because if you just keep watching and there's no application, then the immersion doesn't make sense. So that's actually my point here. Everything is Googleable. You can see all of these tips, but if we don't actually put an effort into it, it won't mean anything, right? So my next general tip is, mhm, okay. Um, my next general tip is practice using the language. Okay, and what do you think is one of the best ways to do that? There's actually a clue on the picture. What do you think is one of the best ways to practice speaking in English? So it's actually in the picture. So the first suggestion, yes, talk to someone, particularly children. If there are children in your household, talk to them in English. As you know, these days, most children can communicate in English, and even if they can't, they adapt very easily just by hearing you speak the language. And kids in general are more responsive and they will less likely judge you if your grammar is not perfect. Okay? Kids are more responsive because, for example, if you ask an adult, how's your day? Usually they'll just answer you whether it's good or bad. But actually, with children, they have a lot to say, and the conversation can keep going on and on and on. Right? So, and yes, kids are forgiving. They wouldn't know if you're actually, if you have wrong grammar. They're not going to judge you. All right. Um, and then something that I actually do most of the time is posting my social media captions in English. So technically, it is not speaking, right? But it's still a great practice in terms of composing your thoughts in English because that is the first step. Actually, that is the first step that you have to do before you can actually speak or talk in English. First, you have to compose your thoughts. Um, if you are not comfortable doing that, posting your captions in English, if you're not comfortable doing that on your own page or on your own news feed, um, then I'd recommend joining safe social media groups where you can freely communicate your thoughts in English. So find groups that interest you so that you will have ideas to share with other people. So, for example, in my case, I these days I enjoy cooking, and I also do swimming for workout. So I join several groups on Facebook about cooking and about swimming. And then when I can ask questions there, or if somebody asks a question and I have the answer, then I answer it in the comments. So that is not public, so it's not in my profile for everyone to see, but I still get to communicate with these people. And also, for those like, since ngayon na uso na yung vlogging, for those who are or influencers, especially these people who want to become such, posting in English gives you a wider audience reach. So when you post in English, hindi lang Filipino yung natatarget mong audience. So even people who do not speak Tagalog. Remember, in the Philippines, we have, it's not only Tagalog that we speak, we have a lot of dialects, if I may say. So we have Cebuano, Ilonggo, and if you post something in English, it's understandable, mostly by everybody. And also, you can keep in touch with foreign friends if you get the chance to make some. So if you come across with foreign friends, for those of you who love to travel, I'm pretty sure it's one way or another you've met foreigners. So try to make or keep in touch with them. So don't be afraid also to talk to them. Honestly, Filipinos can be very unforgiving when you commit grammar mistakes, and it somehow makes people feel discouraged to keep learning and trying because may bashing na nagaganap. But honestly, foreigners don't really mind. So it's a good practice. It's a good way to try hard in a good way, okay? Try hard to improve or to practice speaking, right? Now, an important tip in general, okay, to be a good communicator is to ask questions. Okay? Don't be the one who always just answers. All right? So, for example, if somebody asked me or asked you, how's your day? Of course, you will answer whether it's great or it's not great, and then add something else. If it was not great, then basically explain why it wasn't great. Or if it was great, then you can maybe say something else why you think it's a great day, and then ask the person, how about his or hers? Always try to keep the conversation moving forward. So do not just yes, right? I see here. Make it an exchange. Don't just be the yes or no person. Yes, yes, no, 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 or good, bad, I don't know. Okay. To be an excellent communicator, you should be able to also, magbato ng questions to keep it going. Okay. And then follow up. So also ask open-ended questions rather than simple yes or no. So when we say open-ended questions, so this is the opposite of a yes or no question. For example, instead of asking, did you eat lunch? Is when you say, did you eat lunch? The answer to that is just a yes or no, right? And maybe after sumagot ng yes or no, tapos na. So instead of asking that, why don't you ask, what did you have for lunch? So when you say, what did you have for lunch? This requires an answer that is not yes or no. It requires the person you're talking to answer in a specific manner. And if the person answers in a specific manner, again, this could lead to a longer exchange of conversation. And okay, I think that's it for the practice speaking the language. So I'm sure that you also have your own ways on how to practice speaking the language. You can also record yourself. Sometimes it's cringy, but actually it helps. Record yourself like trying to imitate something, trying to imitate a news reporter, or just trying to imitate your favorite vlogger or your favorite TV hosts. It looks funny, but actually it will help you if you can see yourself. How do you look like when you're speaking in English? Do you look confident or do you look nervous? And what strategy should you do to be able to become a good communicator? All right. And then, okay, my last general tip is wait. Okay, my last general tip is invest in learning the language. So it's no secret that being fluent in the language, in a second language, especially in a global language like English, this was already mentioned by Sir Mark earlier. So being fluent in a global language can help you get ahead in your career. And exerting effort and investing to master a global language can be the stepping stone that you need to pursue your that you need to pursue your education goals, to get your dream job, or to advance your current career. Not to forget that it can actually also increase your earning potential, right? So, in general, investing in learning the language makes you a more effective communicator. So, therefore, okay. Wait. Okay. Therefore, I advise you to look for learning platforms that are actually reliable and responsive to your individual needs. And we are happy to tell you that there is actually such a product. So, yes, this is actually a product pitch, but please let me tell you why we are trying to promote this product and what you can actually benefit from this product. So, it's Pearson Online English. And Pearson Online English allows you to work on your English proficiency, and it aims to help you be more confident in pursuing global opportunities. So you might ask me, so what's that? What's in there? So POE is, of course, it's a digital learning platform or portal that has English courses that are first English language courses that are proficiency level based. Later, I will show you more specific examples of that. And then we also have career pathway based English courses and also units that are interests based. So at present, inside Pearson Online English, there are more than 60 English courses in the platform, and it's still continuously being updated. Okay. Now, when we say, I mentioned that POE or Pearson Online English has proficiency based courses and career relevant courses. So, first, let's see the proficiency based courses. So this is a sample. When we say proficiency-based courses, these are courses based on your English proficiency level, which you will actually find out by taking assessments or level tests throughout the duration of your subscription to the program. Then after each assessment, you will also have a proficiency level certificate, which is downloadable. So again, these are the samples of the proficiency-based courses that we have. So we have from beginner English to advanced English. Now, I also said that there are career relevant courses here. So what is that? So career relevant courses such as these that you see on the screen, these focuses on your English proficiency development in a specific field. So there are courses about healthcare, tourism, finance, aviation, and many others. It really has so much to offer. Now, aside from these, there are also test preparation courses for people who are preparing to take a high stakes English examination, such as the PTE academic, the IELTS, the TOEFL. Now, again, aside from these wide range of courses, there are also personalized units in the platform, and these units will be based on your own interests. So how can that happen? Okay. How will they know what topics I like? So when you subscribe to this program, you will need to answer a few sets of questionnaire. And a part of it will ask you about specific ranges of your interests, which you can change from your profile anytime within the duration of your subscription. It's cool, right? Because this means I can choose what I want to study. I can choose the theme or the topic that I want to learn. Now, another interesting feature of the Pearson Online English is its Real Media section. So this feature allows you to choose lessons according to media type. So it can be an article, it can be a video, and it also can be a conversation. And the topics here are about current events. Therefore, they are regularly updated. And you can see it from here. If you can see, there are tiny texts that says 4 days ago, 7 days ago, which means it was updated on those days. And okay, the best feature of this platform is the live instruction sessions or the group classes. So these group classes run 24/7 daily. So you can join classes anytime and anywhere you are, whatever time zone you are in. You can join it, and the classes are facilitated by native English speaking teachers, and the students are from different parts of the world who are also subscribed to these programs. So this is a good way to practice your English speaking skills while you're just at home. Who knows, we can be classmates because I'm also taking the program. All right, so this platform actually has other great features that I would like to tell you about, but it will take so much time. So if you want to learn more about it, just please reach out to us. Monat will give you the details later on how you can reach us if you want to know more about this platform, and we will accommodate your inquiries. Or maybe you can raise questions in the chat box and we'll try to answer that later. But I know that one of the questions that you will ask is how much, right? That's a very important question. So we currently offer the Pearson Online English in two subscription types. So we have the 3-month access at approximately 4,500 pesos and the 6-month access at around 17,400 pesos. So with the 3-month subscription, you will have access to all of the features that I mentioned earlier, um, plus many more, except for the group classes. Okay, and this is on a limited offer. So this is limited. So if you want to learn more and subscribe to the 3-month subscription, you better hurry. Now, for the 6-month subscription, it will give you access to everything, including the group classes, and of course, you will have a longer time period of subscription for 6 months. Okay. I know that for some of you, this may look quite pricey, but I just want to give you a clearer vision of what you are actually going to spend for if you will actually subscribe to these programs. All right, so let's say you're going to take the 3-month subscription program, which costs 120 Australian dollars. So in peso, this is approximately 4,500 pesos for 3 months, all right? If we divide that 120 AUD in 3 months, it costs around 40 UAD per month. And if we divide 40 into, let's say, 4 weeks in 1 month, that's equal to 10 AUD. Now, let's say you will use the platform 5 days a week. So it costs around 2 AUD. In peso, that costs almost just 75 pesos. So imagine paying 75 pesos in 1 day and you have access to all of those. That's a deal. That's a good deal already. I don't think you can find any instructional materials that will give you that much with this price. So this is actually a great deal. Sometimes we look at the price package in total like, oh, that's quite expensive. But if you look at it this way, it's actually cheap. It's a good deal. So if you want to take this 6-month subscription, it maybe lumalabas na the price per day is about 120. So with a 6-month access, again, you have access to the group classes, unlimited. So unlimited, this means within the duration of your subscription, then you can use it as much as you want. And yes, Monette mentioned that it has a certificate. I mentioned these earlier, that every time you take the assessment exam, within your duration access, you will get a proficiency certificate which is downloadable. Yeah, so it's cool, right? So as much as we want to give everyone a free access to this wonderful platform, unfortunately, we cannot do that. But this is the great news. We are going to give away one 3-month subscription package to somebody qualified from this group through a contest, right? through a contest wherein we will choose a person, just one person, who we feel needs it and deserves it the most by telling us in 300 words or more how English proficiency helps you in your studies or in your career, and next is why you want or why you need to further develop your current English skills. So just answer these two questions in an essay format or anyway in a text format with 300 words or more. If you want to explain more, you can do so, and please follow our social media pages, which I put here. Kindly screenshot this page, this slide. So answer these two questions in a text form with 300 words or more, and then like these social media pages on the slide, and then send your entries to Marian at ccnau.com with the following, with those details: your full name, contact number, your age, your location, where you're from, your educational attainment if you are a student, what level you are in. And if you are a working professional, please tell us your occupation. And the deadline of submission is, I'm sorry, this will be tomorrow. You have one whole day until tomorrow, March 28th, 2021, and we will announce the winner on April 5. We will announce the winner through our social media pages, and we will also get in touch with the winner through email, or maybe we'll contact them through the contact number. So please follow and like our social media pages. So that's it for me. I'd like to end my part in encouraging you to invest in developing your English proficiency, because it boosts your communicative competence and it opens up big doors of opportunities for everyone, just like what it did to me. So, years ago, I was like in your place. I was part of the audience listening to someone speak in English and like thinking, oh, I want to be as confident as this person. I want to be the one speaking to everybody in due time. So thank you. Thank you very much. And back to you, Juanette.
Thank you, Marion.
Can I stop
Yes.
sharing? I'll stop sharing. Or,
Yes.
okay, I'll stop sharing.
I hope everyone got a chance to take a screenshot of that. Okay. So if not, maybe I'll be sending an email very quick after this event so that you'll have a chance to participate in that competition. All right. So we are now ready to take and receive questions from any of you. Actually, Marian, we already received one, and I think this is for you. As somebody is interested in knowing more about the group classes, is there an interaction between the student and the teacher or the facilitator during the group class? And maybe you'd like to share how it really goes so they have an idea?
Okay, so for the group classes, yes, to answer the question, yes, there is interaction. The group classes is focused on speaking. So yes, there will be a chance of interaction. The group classes, actually, I'll give more specific details. The group classes run for 30 minutes, again, with a native English speaking teacher. And I don't know if you remember from the screenshot that I shared, there is like a reserve button there. Because if you want to join a certain class, you have to reserve, because there's a limitation with the number of students. The limit is 9, but in actual, the average number of students who attend each session or each class is only 5. And this is actually good. I think the less, the better. 5 is good, a good number, because it gives all the students an almost equal opportunity to speak. And if I may just share, because I said I am actually a subscriber to this program, I joined a group class before, and my classmates were from Colombia, from Vietnam, and from Spain. So I got to interact with them, with the teacher. I hope that answers the question. Yes, there is an interaction.
All right. Thank you for clarifying that, Marianne. It sounds also interesting because you get to meet other nationalities, right? And you can share other ideas, learn from them as well, culturally, I believe. All right. So I think there's another question from Susanna, but I'm not very sure what she means by evaluation link. Susanna, would you like to clarify your question? Um, you could unmute your mic if you'd like to speak. If you're referring to the e-certification, it will be sent to you. Yes, it answered my.
Thank
So
you.
for the evaluation link, I'm not sure if you're referring to the e-certificate. So we'll be sending this a few days after this event. So please allow us to just provide that. We will be sending that via email. So make sure you also check your email or even your junk folder just in case you don't see this in your chat box. All right. So I think we are running out of time, in fact, and I think we don't have any further questions at the moment. So let me just conclude this session already, Marian. You don't have anything to add, right?
No
Okay.
more, I guess.
All right,
Thank
then
you.
let me just conclude this session by thanking everyone for joining. We hope you found the session productive. And a huge thank you to our guest speaker, Sir Mark Flores of Pearson Asia and Marion Campos of Career Consultants Network for making this event meaningful and possible. And of course, I'd like to congratulate everyone for learning with us today. And I hope we were able to add value to your to your day. And let's communicate with confidence and boost your English proficiency with Pearson Online English. And let's bring back the Philippines to the top when it comes to English proficiency in at least, Southeast Asia. For inquiries, please screenshot the contact details of Marian at ccnau.com, and you may reach her also at 0917 878 9917. And for the competition, guys, I know you only have until tomorrow, but you have a lot of time. It's just 300 words. And I'm sure we'd love for you to get the chance to already become part of one of the users of Pearson Online English. So don't forget to submit your entries by March 28, 2021. And that's it. I would just like to ask everyone to stay safe, stay home, and we hope to see you very soon again in our next session. That's it for today. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Goodbye.
Everyone. Bye-bye.